Hey up, how we doing? Are we alright? Different angle today, 'cause I've got something to show you. You'll have seen my fermzilla, which at the end of the video I told you didn't fit in my fermentation fridge. Did it? So we've been purchasing. Look at that bad boy. So we've found ourselves a tall larder fridge, not an undercounter, whatever you call them. And we've converted her into a fermentation fridge to fit the fermzilla in. And there's some in there now as well. We've brewed. So I was looking on Marketplace for ages. I went to look at a couple, and there were some of the freezer. A lot of them had like a bit of a freezer on the top, and I couldn't fit my fermzilla in. People have said put it upside down, you put the blanket on. I wanted it full height in case I wanted to use the trub dump and everything, dry hopper. I wanted room. I bought the kit. I'm going to do it properly. I just had to bide my time, and they're not quite as easy as I thought, and I didn't want to buy a new one at this point in time. So I waited. I've been hanging about a bit, looked at a couple, wasn't quite right, and then this one came up. So this one is a Swan. It's a Swan. It's only a year old, and actually the person I bought it off, when I got there, I found out I used to work with them. I knew them. Bizarre, absolutely bizarre. So 85 English pounds I paid for that. It is, like I said, just a year old. They had a big American fridge freezer that broke. They bought that in the interim, been using it, and then got another American fridge, and then went, well, it's a bit surplus, this one, isn't it? So mint. It is a minter. I've still got the instruction manual. Where's that? Look at that, egg tray and instruction manual. So I am I say it's mint. It is absolutely mint. This hopefully is going to last me years. The risk of buying a second-hand fridge is moving it. I laid it down because I only had one trailer available at that point. I like to keep things stood up if I'm fridging things. But anyway, yes, I had to lay it down, and then I left it 24 hours. Something to do with the compressor oil needs to get back down again. If you turn it on before the compressor oil has redone, you've had it. So I'm going to show you. I've done a video of a quick look around, and then we'll have a talk about it. That's how she sits in there. I've taken the trub collector and that off at the minute. That's how we're going to be. Perfect. Now we'll see if that heater's got enough oomph in it. I don't know whether it'd have enough oomph to do a kveik. It's a big space, that, isn't it? But I know that cold crashes well against cold. Yeah, so what do you think? I am very happy. So when I stuck it on, I thought, oh, do you know what? So I put I don't know whether I showed you, but the pipe, look at that. I've got a coal in there already. Psst, in a way. Look, it's beautiful. I love watching it. Oh, getting it. Oh, it's fantastic. Lots and lots of room. Now, I don't know whether someone's going to comment that it had a glass. It had a glass bottom in it, which I filled that with water and put it on it, and I think that would have held it. But do you know what? It hasn't got holes in it. I'm not sure, because my heater's at the bottom. So the heater. Talking about the heater came out of my other undercounter fridge. I had two FEs. FE1 and FE2. One was slimmer. So the first one I ever got, and it wasn't quite as big as an undercounter fridge. It was the height, but it wasn't as wide. But it fitted a fermentation bucket in it. When I got it home, it had a freezer compartment at the top. Now that's risky. But I was given it. I didn't buy it. So I took the plastic, unscrewed all the plastic, and then you have like the bit where the cold runs through there at the top. So I unscrewed everything and slowly pushed it down. But it's got pipes going to it, and if them pipes break while you're doing that, warning, that's the whole system gone, degassed. That ain't going to work again. I went, you know, I was giving it, so I risked it, and I wanted to use it. But anyway, I got it pulled to the back and then cable tied it to the back, and it worked. But there was a fundamental flaw with that, although it cold crashed really, really, really well, because theoretically practically, it was about that size of my hand that went down the sides and round the back, was a freezer. even though it wasn't in its compartment. It was in the big compartment, wasn't it? So I did a couple of times when I started cold crashing with it, my bucket was touching the back and it froze me beer. Bucket on the freezer compartment, froze my beer. Now, cold crash well, I ended up putting some towel things around the back of it so it didn't come in complete contact, and that it cold crashed well, quick and well, because it got cold, seriously cold in there. But then obviously the other side of it, because it's got a freezer compartment, when you turned it off and stopped cold crashing, it had ice. Ice dropped in the bottom, so you had to clean that out before, and you have to leave the door open and make sure it's nice and dry. You don't want mould going on. You don't want mould in the brewery, do you? Nothing to do with mouldy stuff around here, I'll tell you. That is bad news. Anyway, it was really good. It served me really well for several years. It's fantastic. But so we've got the undercounter fridge, which is the bigger one there now, FE2 that you saw. And FE1 is now this. Now the heater, I've put the heater wire, I took the plug off and put it through the drain hole. And as I said, it's not quite long enough. My Inkbird's down there. So I wanna lift her up. So I'm going to put an extension cable on that. Might just run a whole new wire from the heater. But I'm very pleased with it. I'm very pleased with it. My fermentation fridge is a very old fridge and I'm worried about that. I've had no problems with it. But how long do they go on for these days? That's the thing. This one's shorter. So that wouldn't quite have done it. It's not quite as wide, so I mean, what do you do? Do you get... That could keep me going for years, couldn't it? I'm sat here going, do I buy another one that's a bit bigger and make another kegerator? Or do I just wait? I mean, that's old. Like I said, it's old, but it's still going. It's lovely. I'm going to stick with it. Decision made just now. So yes, as I said, I have already fermented. As soon as I got that up and going, we brewed a Kolsch in there, pressure ferment it, see how that goes. I'm very excited. But simple run. I was going to mention shelf at bottom. I did try the glass one, but that didn't have, it's no holes in it for the heater. The heater's below it. I haven't stuck it on the side, especially because of the cabling. So the heat wouldn't be rising very well, so I put that in. I decided not to do what I normally do last time. I put a shelf all the way across in and then drilled holes in it. That doesn't need it. That sits really well with just that one shelf, and I've only put one down thing on it as well. And it didn't really need that when I looked at it. The shelf and that piece of wood is really sturdy. And then there's a gap, and then the compressor shelf, so it fits in nice. But so the heat can rise. I haven't put any holes in it. And on the other ones, I've put two downward legs. But like I said, it didn't really need any. It didn't bow or anything, even when I filled that fermzilla full. But I did put one brace in the middle. Just belts and braces, as they say. So that's it, and it's in use. I'm very happy. You'll be seeing a bit of that on the channel. Easy thing to do. Shelves out. I've got all the shelves. I mean, that can be a fridge. I haven't drilled any holes in that. As I say, the heated wire goes out the drain, and the Inkbird goes through the door, which is at the bottom now. Yeah, the old Inkbird goes through the door. So if I've got the shelves, I've got the egg tray. So if I need a fridge at any point, I can stick them back in and use it as a fridge, I suppose. Drilling holes, didn't need to. You don't need to drill holes anymore, I don't think, unless you want lots of wires going in and out. For one heater wire, and that seals with that little Inkbird wire, it doesn't compromise that seal. It's fine. There's no problems with that, I promise you. So, yeah, just a quick look. I love it. I'm excited. I've been waiting. Like I said, I had to wait a while to get that, but we're off. We are fermenting under pressure, up and running. So, this is very, very good. Cheers.